everybody, it is me, Tuesday. Today we're here talking about ReZero Starting Life in Another World, Season 2, Episode 9. Okay, so, man, so we basically started off exactly where we left off last episode. We're talking to Ekidono, and then we have, like, Subaru, asking her questions since now he knows everything that he needs to know with her being able to read his mind. And I like it how like he asks the question about like what she thinks of Return by Death, and I like it how her answer is to literally be like probably gave it to you because she like wanted like only you to like have it and for it to be like. And then she also mentioned how like he also asked if it could last long because like he's probably like worried about having it, but at the same time he's worried about not having it for it to like run out. And then she said that it's infinite, that it probably won't run out, and he's just like, well, why? And it's like literally like every single like time when he asks someone this question, like there's literally the reasons why are like literally non-existent, or like there's like a smidge of existence there, because like even like him asking like Rosewald, saying like, Rosewald, like, why do you consider me a friend? Like, why do you trust me so much? And he's just like, because of like the way that you're able to do things without making a single mistake. And then we got that so literally here where the Witch of Envy pretty much gave him this power, so that way he needs to like have like a only he can survive, and that if anyone else like is sacrificed during it, with him using his Return by Death in order to get the good ending. So pretty much like he even like mentioned like saying like, why couldn't like Rem be saved? And then Ekidona said that since she had nothing to do with him having the good end, then she gets the bad end, or she gets like the ending that she got. And then after that conversation with him having that, he Ekidono tried to get like some affection from Subaru, but then Subaru is just like too shy about doing it and also doesn't want to do it, but then ends up doing it anyways and saying thank you to her. And then afterwards he ended up trying to get information about what to do, because like he's caught in this loop right now where if he doesn't do anything quick enough in the sanctuary, then everyone dies at the mansion. And by the time he gets to the mansion, they're already dead, and he has to like end up fighting against uh, Elsa and then like the other mob beast creature. But then if he like leaves too early, then it happens quicker. But at the same time, he can't leave early because he needs to pass all the trials. And I guess right now he's still at the first trial. Maybe, yeah, I think he's still at the first trial, right? And then right now he's like, I just had his second tea party, so and he's like tried to like figure out what to do. He even like asked about like the rabbit creature, and then he ended up finding out that's called a great rabbit, and that it's a part of like the Witch of Gluttony's pets that she made, along with the great whale. And they even mentioned a great serpent. I'm really wondering if that's going to come into play in the future. And apparently they like been around for at least 400 years. And I also like it how Ekidona is like, I don't know if like these other witches that she's like manifesting, how she manifests this little lolly gluttony chick, I don't know if they're like memories that she has, or if this like she mentioned how it's like their souls or something like that. So I'm really wondering if it's like their actual like remnants of like their souls that she's summoning, how she summoned there. And even like Subaru mentioned like saying like, aren't like how, like wouldn't they all be dead? And she's like, well, I'm dead, so that means that we're all dead. And then so I really like it how like she says that, how she's like, how do you expect me, like I almost thought that like Subaru was going to be like, well, maybe it's just you that exists but the rest of them die. But then no, all of them are still alive in here somehow. And I'm at first I thought maybe it is a memory thing, but maybe it isn't a memory thing. So then Subaru ends up meeting her in order to get information on the Great Rabbit. I also like how Subaru goes from like being very worried to being very like striven. Like he's really just being like, well, if the Witch of Envy gave me this, then I guess I'm gonna have to like use it. And he ends up having like resolution like really quickly. And then I'm assuming that has to do with like him having like the witch factor ability. Then like Ekidona say that it like calms him down and stuff like that. So I guess he's able to like reaffirm his mind quickly. And then like even Subaru said that like him like interacting with the Witch of Gluttony would like if he can't sustain any physical damage, but he can sustain mental damage from it. And then he like said, don't touch her, don't remove her strains, and also don't like touch her. And then he ended up touching her because she wanted to be touched. She even like ended up saying how she even asked him if she was a bad guy and stuff like that. And then he's just like, well, what do you mean? And then she like asks for him to touch him, and then he like touches her hand, and then she just rips off his hand, sort of like that bunny did, sort of like the rabbit did, just rips it off. And she's like, oh, you didn't feel pain? And then he's like, wait, what? She has my arm. And then he like looks over, and he just like goes from being super calm to being like freaking out. And she's like, yeah, he's like yelling at her and stuff like that. And she's like, well, Can't you just remain calm? You remain calm before you noticed. And I'm assuming that sort of like has to do with like that mental pain thing that Ekidona said, and then she ends up like saying how even though that you're a good guy, you're still acting like you're a sinner. So I'm assuming that she's like she can only hurt people that have sinned. So then she ends up poking him, and then he just turns into like a whole entire shards of glass, and she's like, "Oh, well, you're not a sinner, but you act like you think that you're one, and but you have such a good heart right now." So that's where we're at right now. That the first 9 minutes. The beginning of this episode is pretty good. I've enjoyed it. I may not have covered everything, but I enjoy the conversations having with Ekidona, and learning more about the Witch of Envy is pretty good too. Learning about his return by death, learning about how him having to like think of a strategy and what to do next. Him reaffirming his stance on trying to learn more right now in this den. I'm assuming he's gonna. Uh, Assuming that he's going to meet all the other witches and learn things here and there. So yeah, I'll be back in a few seconds to review the middle parts of this episode. The beginning is pretty informative. Okay, I'm back after watching around the 9 minute mark to the 17 minute mark, and wow, lots of things happened. So then apparently that chick that we saw wasn't the Witch of Gluttony, but was a misdirection because it was actually the Witch of Pride Typhoon. That's a really weird name, like Typhoon. And also, it seems like the witches are like very like childlike that want to do good things but end up doing bad things because like after meeting her, she disappeared after like seeing Subaru because she really wanted to meet him for some reason. I guess like out of all of them, I guess since she was childlike, she wanted to like meet his personality because like same thing with like which Subaru's ground dragon Persh, however you say that name, like it's very prideful of itself, and then like apparently it only accepts someone that's prideful. Since Subaru has like was able to like get that ground dragon and like it was able to like see Subaru's prideness. Maybe like the Witch of Pride could also see Subaru's prideness, so it got very excited. Same thing with the ground dragon. That's very interesting. And then after that, she disappeared when Subaru was like all like mangled up and in like glass form, and then like she transformed into the Witch of Wrath, Minerva, and she's like someone that acts like like a magical girl, and she's like going around. She's like was able to like fix Subaru by punching him lots, like did some muda muda muda, and then like she had like hearts going over the place and punched him in the cheek, and a huge heart came out. And he was healed, and he was like, "What the hell is this?" And then she was like getting to know Subaru for like a little second, and she's like crying and stuff like that, and then like asking him to like be himself and to do things like that. I don't remember it exactly. I might need to like go back. She just wanted to like meet him and just get Typhoon out of the place. And I like it how she like even Subaru is just like, why do you have to make everything like a threat? I like how she's like used brute force, but she's doing kind things and like is he? And then like after that, we met the real Witch of Gluttony, Daphne, and she's like in a sarcophagus, and she's like all bounded up, and we found like where the chains were, stuff like that. I think I did see a picture of like her with her like with her blindfolds off. She has like these glowing green eyes. I don't know if that was fan made or if that was like an actual like picture of what she looks like. And then she's like asking Subaru what the question is, and I like how she like really liked Subaru's like smell. And I think even Ekidono like mentioned how she like might eat Subaru, how like she like eats everything, and that she even said that even like the great rabbit is like that, like it really likes eating things, like it eats everything and doesn't think about anything else. Like I think even like Daphne said that it has like one consciousness, it has like one great mind, and that's all it does, and that the only way to like defeat it is if you like lure it with mana. So if someone like released like I guess like their magical energy like really proudly, then they would just all just go into one place, and then they would and then Subaru would be able to defeat it somehow if they like exterminated all pieces of itself. And then like Subaru tried to get information, and like I said, Daphne tried to like eat him, like saying how how he has like a great smell. And I'm wondering like wouldn't his smell just be the Witch of Envy's smell, or like I wonder if he has like some other smell that she probably also likes. And like Subaru like was just pretty much trying to get the information to like defeat it, and like at how the Witch of Gluttony ended up getting angry at him about like Subaru like announcing to her that like he wants to like how he already killed the white whale, and then he's gonna kill the great rabbit next, and that she's just like, wow, okay, if you think that a mere human can do that, then try. And then like she starts shaking, getting very angry and a serious expression, and Subaru just ends up getting scared a little bit before Ekidono showed up, and then saying. Asked him if the conversation went well, and he said that it did, and that he has like his mind set up, and that he wants to go overtake the trial still. And then like I'm really thinking that like he wants to even like he wants to like undergo the trial like himself, but at the same time like Amelia has to do it because if he tries to like steal it from Amelia, then he won't get anything done. But I really like I said, I really liked the conversation that he had with Gluttony. It was pretty interesting, and like I said, all of them seem very childlike, but then like when they try to like create things or do things with their powers, it's very malicious. Like she said that how like she created like the great rabbit and the great whale because the great whale is huge, and that if they killed the great whale and used its meat to eat, then they'd be able to save lots of lives by having lots of meat. And then like she created the great rabbit so that way it multiplies and that she can be it. And then like Subaru like says how like it's not fair since they're monsters. And she says, well, like how do you expect to like eat something if you don't expect the thing that you're eating to eat you as well? And then Subaru's like, well, I guess that makes sense, but and then she's like, well, it does make sense. And then she's like trying to like get him with like play on words and stuff like that. And then I guess like it'd be different if like the rabbits were more human than like animal or more like less or like one track mind. Like if they were like if there was more to them, then I guess Subaru would have no room for questioning. And that's in my opinion at least. And then like I said, Ekidona showed up and then Ekidona said how like Subaru like mentioned like how he's mentioned like the strategy of what to do like once he's released from here, and then we see him like fall over a little bit because like and then Ekidona's like, well, I guess you're waking up soon, and then so I guess like he's only able to stay in this. I thought that maybe like if it was I thought that maybe like they could like stay in there for as long as he want, but then no, his body's starting to wake up, or like Amelia's waking up. So then like the tea party is almost over, and then she's like, well, I guess it's almost over. And Subaru is like trying to get more information than he started out as. And then she also mentioned how she didn't really care about Amelia's like trials, and that she doesn't like have any hope in her actually, like doing it. But then Subaru, tries to like protect her, and sort of like how he did with Garfield at the beginning of the series, where he's like, well, don't talk bad about her and talk good about her and stuff like that. And then she's just like, well, you can do that. And then like I really hope that you're able to like make her like fix herself, like fix this cowardly princess, which is kind of funny for her to say. And then she was like, well, I will try to do that. And then like as I said, he falls over and his like body's starting to like fall over because like his real body is starting to wake up. So then she's like, they're just trying to finish the conversation right before the 19-minute mark. No, I mean 17-minute mark. He's like asking how he can like see her again, like in order to have like a third tea party, because like even like Ikidona said last episode, it's very rare, or I guess like even before that, it's very rare for there to be a second tea party with someone. So I guess we'll see what happens there. And I guess once he wakes up, he's also going to be able to like see. Uh, he's going to like be able to remember Ekidona, because that's one of the things that he wanted to do in this trial. Like he wants to be able to remember her in order to like progress smoothly. So this middle part of this episode was pretty interesting as well, meeting those three other witches, and Gluttony is pretty interesting. And like how she also has like sort of like not like sharp teeth like Garfield and Frederica have, but sort of like rounded sharp teeth, which is a pretty interesting character design. Pretty much everyone's character design is pretty cool and smooth. So yeah, I'll be back in a few seconds to review the ending bits of this episode. Right, so I just finished watching the ending of this episode, and wow, that like after credits scene. So Rosewald has a gospel like Beatrice, and he knows about Subaru's return by death because like at the very ending he's just like, if hell is what we must go through in order to like do this, then I hope that next time you won't be able to make a mistake, Subaru. I was like, dude, really? He knows. Like before there was hints about him knowing with how much trust he has in Subaru, I'm going to assume that his gospel is sort of like Beatrice. Maybe he's like the other half or something like that. He probably has something similar because he probably is able to like see and read the events of what happened, because he probably sees what Beatrice sees. I hope that I remember her that character's name right. But he's also able to see it like like so right before the uh the tea party with Ekidona ends, like Subaru like asks like how he's able to like see her again, like how he's able to have a third tea party. And she says that in order to have a third tea party, like with all of his heart, he needs to like say that he wants to like seek knowledge from her, and that the first time was easy and that the second time was harder, and that he really had to like know, like he really like he was like he just kept on saying like why, and like he wanted to know the information about why. And I guess with this tea party he found out why, and he found out more information, and he found out even more. So I guess with him like having to like whack his head so much in order to have the second trial, I mean the second tea party, the third tea party, like he must have like he's gonna have to like yell, like he's gonna have to do like a hero cry. And like he also asked like if that was like the only way. basically with the difficulty. And then she said that the second way for him to like meet her again in order to seek out more knowledge, like that's even what he said. He wants to seek out more knowledge. That's probably like really good for her because because she's like the witch of greed and that she like wants to have lots and lots of more knowledge. So it'd be more beneficial for even her. So then she said that another way to like see her is to in order for Subaru to like take the second trial. I'm pretty sure there's only 3 trials, so I guess he'll be able to see her again. Like even he like remembered how at the ending of the first trial he ended up seeing her. So then he even said like he probably won't be able to see her in like the nicest way that he saw in the first trials because the second trial will probably be harder than the first one. So he might see her under different circumstances, but at least he'll be able to see her. And like the third way, I forgot what it was, but I think like she was gonna mention like the third way, but then Subaru cut her off and said, "That's good, that's all I need." And then like he also asked for the payment, and the payment was really funny how he asked what the payment was, and then she asked for Subaru's handkerchief that Petra gave her, that Petra gave him. And then he's like, "Really, this?" And then he's like, "Yeah, but this was given to me." And then she's like, "Well, you won't actually leave this place. I'll just have like a mental image of it. Like I almost thought that she was gonna like rip it off and it was gonna be like off of his hand, but that didn't end up happening. And I thought that maybe in real life he'll see it, but she probably have like like a physical. And she said that the reason why she wanted it was because it was given to him out of like pure like a worry for him, and like it was like I guess like pure love and stuff like that. So then she like wanted to have it. So then that's why he got the payment of that. That when he woke up, he got to like remember all of her. He's like, wow. He's like, wow. She actually kept the payment. Uh, she actually kept her promise. I get to like remember her and stuff like that. So now he remembers Ekidona. And then when he wakes up in the room and Amelia isn't there. Like he just wakes up back at the ruins and then find at the trialing place and like she's like not there. He's like looking around trying to find her. He leaves, and when he leaves the place in order to like go where Rem, Otto, and Garfield was, the whole entire area is just full of just blackness, full of just darkness. It's just the whole entire area is just covered, and then he ends up seeing the witch's hands coming out and then seeing the witch of envy just there like using like Amelia's model as like I'm assuming that that's Amelia in there and that she's like being like controlled or something like that. It's really weird how when she took the trials before it was okay. Maybe it's because like when she woke up from her like being like all like like destroyed like mentally, Subaru was there to like comfort her since she was able to like go out of it. But since like Subaru was like knocked out like bleeding from the head, maybe she like had something happen to her to be like controlled or whatever. And then like Subaru, then she like just keeps on saying, "I love you, I love you, love you, love you." And that's the title of this episode. And then she like hugs him and then like says, "I love you." And then they do like that thing where like it's very like noticeable in your ear of her saying, "I love you" to him. And he's like frozen. He's like wondering why she's here and stuff like that. And then she like the shadow starts to like envelop him. And then Garfield just comes out of nowhere, like and like saves Subaru, like punches her out of the way and like saves him. And then like even like Subaru later on is like, why did you save me?" He's just like, "Well, you're the only one that's around right now, so like I need you." So I could see why. And then like he even says like Garfield says, "Is that a problem?" And Subaru's like, "No, it's not a problem," because like it's better to like not worry about like the past time that like he like had that confrontation with Garfield than to deal with it this time. So then they almost think about like why she doesn't attack them because instead of going towards them because they like ran because she like he Garfield grabbed Subaru and jumped from the ruins all the way to like the village to like where everyone was. But then like the witch of envy didn't follow them and instead left to go towards the barrier in order to leave the sanctuary. And Subaru like is like thinking about what how to defeat her and like how to get out of this and where she's heading. And he's like, "Oh, the mansion. He's going for the mansion." And I have like no idea why she would go for the mansion. That really makes no sense to me. I get that there's more people there because like the only people at the sanctuary right now is Subaru and Garfield. I have no idea why she didn't kill Garfield, maybe because he's just able to survive. And I can see why she wouldn't hurt Subaru because like she loves Subaru, the Witch of Envy, which is very confusing for Subaru because he still doesn't know the reason for why. Like there is like Amelia and stuff like that. Like if Amelia does end up being like maybe like a portion or maybe like a daughter or like somehow related to the Witch of Envy because like yeah, maybe it's like hidden memories or something like that, or maybe something different. So then after that, Subaru like ends up declaring that he needs to like defeat her and like get out of this somehow and be able to like do something. So I guess next episode we'll see Garfield and Subaru try to like defeat her, or maybe we'll have like another return by death because this ending might not be the one that we need right now. So I guess we'll see what happens in the next episode. But so far, this episode was pretty good. I thought it was really informative. I really liked the conversation with like Idona meeting the other witches and having this ending part, the Witch of Envy here. That definitely was a curveball because you definitely wouldn't have seen that. that reaction, like how Subaru was also like dumbfounded by like finally like seeing her in person. Because before he like saw like shadows of her and here and there, like, we even saw flashbacks of that. But him to like see her like right in the front, seeing her hug him and stuff like that, and trying to envelop in her shadow. I wonder what would have happened if Garfield didn't save him. But yeah, if you enjoyed my thoughts on this episode and enjoyed like what I thought of the recap and stuff like that, leave a like. If you didn't enjoy my review whatsoever, and a dislike. But yeah, I can't wait for next week to see what happens in episode. What was it? 10. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is about 9. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, night, or evening. And yeah, bye. See you later.